So whether the parents fully understand it or not, transgender children going through puberty of their own gender is harmful in this special way. So as we've seen, refusing puberty blocking treatment prevents immediate and intense psychological harm, and second, it causes lasting and irreversible physical harm. So we can compare the parents of transgender children opposed to physician recommended treatment to naturalist parents. So parents who misuse traditional or mistrust traditional Western medicine. Regardless of whether these parents have good intentions, these children are often at risk of harm. So in various cases, the courts have ruled that naturalist parents are required to treat their children according to traditional principles of Western medicine. Not only that, but they're criminally liable if they don't do so. So arguably a similar case could be made with.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy town right there. Hi everybody. Auntie speaks here. Yeah, you heard that correctly. Parents should be treated like they're abusing their children if they don't affirm their gender and their gender journey or whatever. Okay, so we came from crazy town there. That's crazy town. That is the academies of today's world, and that's what they think. Let's take all the munchkins and let's do experiments on them. Now we're going to go to some people who have some brains. We have a very dangerous time right now, but I think we're hitting a tipping point where a lot of people are starting to go, I don't know, some of this looks a little dangerous, little kids, transitioning when they're like 10 and 2 and 3, so we're going to look and read through a Washington Examiner piece. And please like, comment, and subscribe. I put the link to this piece in below, and you need to share this with people. We need to get people to start talking. We need to look after the little munchkins. Okay? So here we go. Washington Examiner from Kaylee McGee. Okay? To understand gender ideology and its motivations, one must first recognize that this cultural battle is happening only because trans activists have successfully waged a war on our language, hijacking basic concepts and definitions to normalize an ideology that is anything but. This includes things like preferred pronouns, but also can be traced to the very words used to describe the movement, such as transgender and gender identity, both of which presupposes that it is possible to be a gender different than your sex. Yes, for a lot of what used to be called transgender, they are starting to call themselves transsexual. And that's the term that Buck Angel uses. And I like it a lot because him and Blair White and the offensive tranny, a bunch of really great people out there are trying to remove themselves from this movement because the movement is so dangerous. You look at Blair and you would not know, you would have no idea that she is not a female, but she says, no, I'm a trans woman. Trans means I was at one place and now I'm going to another place. Okay. And she thinks that we're moving into dangerous territory because we're not talking about adults anymore. We are talking about children. Okay. So the problem for gender ideologues, of course, is that it's not possible for a man to become a woman and vice versa. But the point of the new terms and euphemisms that they have created have mainstreamed is confusing to everyone. So much that we eventually accept as fact something that is not true. Such is the case with a particular egregious euphemism, gender-affirming care. This is the phrase gender activists have coined to describe irreversible sex change treatments and procedures, such as puberty blockers and hormone injections, as well as double mastectomies and vaginoplasties. In fact, it's the exact phrase being used by a major U.S. children's hospital, quote unquote Children's Hospital, just want to, highlight that, to defend administering these experimental treatments to minors. And no matter what anybody tells you, they are experimental. Especially the puberty blockers, we have no long-term data on that at all, what it's going to do to children. So a series of videos posted on the Boston Children's Hospital website shows its doctors advocating the medical treatment of gender-confused children. In one viral video, a doctor promotes hysterectomies as a solution for gender-confused girls. Right, even in that statement, he says gender-confused girls and offers them mastectomies. Yeah, that's wonderful. The hospital has since claimed it doesn't perform this procedure on minors, but between 2017 and 2020, the hospital reportedly performed 65 double mastectomies as part of its affirming, quote-unquote, care. Another page at the hospital's website, which has since been deleted. Yeah, that's so nice. You've deleted it. We still know you're doing it. Even if you've deleted it, we've already found it. Says 17-year-olds are eligible for affirming vaginoplasties. 17. If you don't know what that is creating a fake, just what you think it means. Yeah. That sounds like a great plan for a 17-year-old boy to do. Other videos show Boston Children's Hospital's medical experts promoting puberty blockers for young children, encouraging gender-confused boys to talk their to make them look more like and claiming that children as young as 2 and 3, they can know that their gender is different than their sex at 2 and 3. Have you guys ever met a 2 and 3-year-old? Yeah, they think they're dragons or knights, if they can even talk. Yeah, okay. And it's not just Boston's Children's Hospital. Yale University's pediatric gender program director has said she medically treated children as young as 3 on their gender journey. A number of other medical professionals have published actual scientific research about performing vaginoplasties on children under 18 years old. Even the American Academy of Pediatrics has endorsed the medical and chemical treatment of children to the point where it shut down a resolution from its members asking for a more critical look at quote unquote affirming care as quote unquote transphobic. So what that means is, if you question, you go to the gulag. No questioning. If you question, we're going to remove your doctor's license. That's why these doctors are so afraid. The same thing happened under COVID. Doctors were afraid to say their opinion for fear of their medical license being removed. Yeah, this is not science. If you think this is science, then you do not know what science is. We are barreling towards the point of no return on this issue, even as many countries start to hit the brakes. For example, the United Kingdom just shuttered its state-run Tavistock Gender Ideology Clinic, which was the largest pediatric gender clinic in the world, after a report found that its patients were at considerable risk due to its unquestioning affirmative approach. That's putting it mildly. This is happening in the United States as well. At least in Britain, they're questioning it. No, in places in Canada, if you don't affirm, you get sent to jail. Yeah, a father who didn't affirm his daughter, didn't call her a son, he went to jail and now he's going to trial. In California, if you're a therapist, you can have your license removed if you don't affirm. So a 10-year-old walks into your office and says they're a girl and they think they're a boy. You can't question it at all, or you get your license taken away. We need to be explicit about what's happening right now. Trans activists, medical professionals, and ideologues who promote and defend gender-affirming care are advocating the chemical castration and physical mutilation of vulnerable persons. They can try to tie it up with a ribbon and make it sound as pretty as they like, but that is what it is. Another accurate term for its medical malpractice. I love that. That's what it is. In no other part of the medical world is it considered acceptable or even legal to damage the body of a healthy person irreversibly. For example, if a young girl is suffering from anorexia, walks into a hospital and asks for liposuction, no one in their right mind would give that to her, would grant that request. If a mentally ill man who identifies himself as an amputee asks a doctor to amputate his perfectly functional arm to match his identity, every self-respecting surgeon will send him away. And that's because medical professionals swear an oath to do no harm, to preserve and protect and heal a person's body as best they can, in spite of any delusion that person may be experiencing. Yet they violate the oath every time they promote gender-affirming care as a solution for what is clearly an unhealthy delusion. Now, I just want to break from the writing here, and I've said this many times. If you're an adult, I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do. You want to cut things off. You want to call yourself a he or a she, whatever. I don't care. But that doesn't mean that we can do it to children. Okay? Okay, so the only way that this stops is twofold. First, we need to stop going along with the language games gender ideologues want us to play. I completely agree with that. Stop saying transgender. Stop using the term gender identity. There are men, women, and men and women who are confused or deluded about which one they are. There are no in-betweens or different identities. There is biological reality, and that is it. Sorry, it's a little bit of a tongue twister there. Now, I kind of disagree with this. I mean, once again, if you're an adult, I don't care what you do. I mean, whatever. But yes, we do have to agree that there are men and there are women. And no, there's nothing in between. You're not agender or no gender or two-spirit. Okay? That's not. And there's no such thing as gender-affirming care. You cannot affirm something that does not exist, and gender identity does not exist. There's only one: chemical castration and surgical mutilation, both of which should be considered medical malpractice on the part of the doctors who perform them. I agree, for anybody under 18. And even then, there should be serious strictures. If you hear Buck, who has been transsexual, as he calls it, for many, many years. I think he was one of the first people to try a lot of this stuff. He calls himself like granny tranny or something like that. Trans grandpa or something. It's really funny. But he had to go through years and years and years of checks. And him and Blair have talked about this. When she decided to transition, they didn't kind of check at all. I mean, she was over age and everything like that. I think she was like 20 or 22 or 25 or something like that. But they just, let her do it, where Buck had to go through tons and tons of checks. And that's where it should be. Secondly, we need a way to hold the people pushing the physical consequences of this harmful ideology accountable. One bill by Senator Tom Cotton, love you, Tom, and Jim Banks would allow patients who underwent physical and medical gender treatments as minors to sue the doctors who perform the treatments. Yes, I believe they're going to be much more careful with who they transition if they can be sued for medical malpractice. Yes. That would be a significant step in the right direction, and it would end all of this. Anybody under 18, it would end tomorrow. Because you cannot be a consenting adult. This is a battle we must win, not least because there's an entire generation of young girls and boys being made to believe that irreversibly changing their bodies will fix the social and emotional anxieties they experience. And it's a battle that we can win. I think most people in the country agree with us. They just don't even know it's happening. Half of the country doesn't even watch politics. They don't even know this is going on. It's a battle that we can win, but only if we stop letting them control the terms of the debate. So it says right here, Kaylee McGee White is a deputy director of Restoring America for the Washington Examiner and a visiting fellow at the Independent Women's Forum. Yeah, we need to stop all this. This stuff is crazy, and we need to reverse course. So guys, you need to talk to people about us. Even the people that don't like to talk about politics, you need to talk about this. There's seriously bad stuff going on right now, and the numbers that they're talking about, especially of young girls who are transitioning, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. So please share this, like, comment, and subscribe. Go look up the article here. I'm going to put it in the description. Send it to your friends. Send my video to your friends. We need to stop this. We need to save the children. Okay? Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much.